Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a book that's already making waves before it's even out.
Oh, yeah. Which one's that?
It's Dana Perino's I Wish Someone Had Told Me, the best advice for building a great career and a meaningful life. It's actually releasing, I think, April 22nd, 2025.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I wish someone had told me. That title alone, it really grabs you. We've all had those moments, right?
Totally. Thinking, man, if only I knew that back then. And this book seems to tap right into that feeling.
So it's like a collection of advice,
Yeah.
not just her own.
Exactly. It's pitched as this collection of advice, stories, life lessons, all curated by Dana Perino, but drawing from her friends and colleagues too.
Hmm, interesting. So collective wisdom, kinda. That could be really powerful, getting different perspectives all in one place.
Yeah, and Dana Perino herself brings, well, quite a background to this. Many people will know her from Fox News, obviously the Five, America's Newsroom, and she's a #1 New York Times bestselling author already.
Right, she's definitely got a platform.
But before all that, and this is key, I think, she was the White House press secretary for George W. Bush, actually the first Republican woman to hold that job.
Wow, okay. That's a serious role.
Yeah,
The kind of experience you get there must be pretty unique. Think about the lessons learned under that kind of pressure.
absolutely. Navigating government at that level, then transitioning to major media, it gives her this pretty broad vantage point for thinking about careers and life advice.
Yeah, you'd think so. So when someone like that compiles advice from their network, you kind of sit up and take notice, don't you? I
Oh,
wonder what gems are in there.
for sure. And the book describes this group as an all-star lineup. It mentions her lifelong friends and Fox News personalities with wide-ranging talents and accomplishments.
So not just political folks, a mix.
Seems like it. It promises amazing stories about their own experiences, offering invaluable guidance and wisdom. So hopefully more than just, abstract points.
Real stories, yeah. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like hearing how someone navigated a challenge is way more useful than just being told, be persistent or something. Hits home more for your own situation.
Definitely. And the range of topics seems pretty wide. It starts with the basics, like
Mm.
finding the right path and getting your foot in the door.
Okay, so relevant for people just starting out, graduates, first jobbers. That initial hurdle can feel massive.
It really can. So if you're in that spot, you're probably hungry for any kind of actionable tips, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully this offers some practical stuff.
And then what? Does it move on from there?
Yeah, it goes into like how to break out in your job and get recognized. That's something probably a lot of listeners can relate to, how to actually stand out.
That's a big one. Moving from just competent to, well, indispensable or at least noticed. Things like taking initiative, maybe,
Yeah,
communicating your wins.
could be. It implies strategies for getting that visibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the next stage for some people, making a transition in your career and betting on yourself.
Ooh, the big leap. That takes courage. Any advice there would be gold, I imagine, especially the betting on yourself part.
Yeah, dealing with that uncertainty. If there are stories in there from people who've done it successfully, that could be really encouraging for, anyone thinking about a pivot.
Absolutely.
Uh,
What else is covered?
well, crucially, how to keep improving and adding new skills.
Mm.
Lifelong learning, basically.
Which is non-negotiable these days, isn't it? Things change so fast, you have to keep adapting. So that focus is really smart.
Yeah, it acknowledges that it's an ongoing journey, not just a destination.
Right.
And maybe just as important, it also seems to cover balancing relationships, avoiding burnout, and having a life.
Oh, thank goodness. Because what's the point of career success if you're burnt out and miserable, right?
Exactly. That holistic view is vital. Professional success and personal well-being, they have to go together. Finding that balance, it's tough.
So strategies for that could be incredibly helpful for, well, pretty much everyone juggling work and life.
It sounds like it's aimed really broadly then. The description mentions new grads, people starting out, professionals thinking about a change.
But also just anyone looking for timeless insight and a helpful resource for self-improvement and career enhancement.
So, yeah, pretty much anyone trying to navigate work and life better seems like it aims to offer something no matter where you are on that path.
And the contributor list really backs up that breadth. You want to name a few?
Sure, it's quite the list. Let's see. Brett Baer, Dierks Bentley, the country singer.
Oh, interesting. So definitely not just politics and news.
Right. Ainsley Earhart, Jimmy Faya, Harold Ford Jr., Trey Gowdy, Greg Gutfeld, Benjamin Hall, Bill Hemmer, Lawrence Jones, Martha McCallum,
Keep going. That's quite a roster.
Charles Payne, Judge Jeanine Pirro, John Roberts, Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs,
Yeah, Mike Rowe. Okay, very diverse.
Jessica Tarlov, Jesse Waters, Selena Zito, and Tyrus.
Oh, okay. That's a seriously varied group. Different industries, different viewpoints, probably.
Yeah.
That variety could be the book's biggest strength.
It really shows how she's tapped into her network, doesn't it? And, we should touch on her own writing success again.
Yeah, she's not new to this.
No. And the good news was a #1 bestseller. Then there was Let Me Tell You About Jasper, and Everything Will Be Okay. Plus, her podcast, Perino on Politics. She knows how to communicate.
And thinking about her career path again. You mentioned the press secretary role, but also her time at the Department of Justice right after 9/11.
Right. That's another significant experience, dealing with major national events, high-stakes communication that shapes you.
For sure. Those kinds of experiences must feed into her own advice and how she curated the contributions from others. It adds a layer of gravitas, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And just sort of a small detail, the bio mentions she lives in New York City with her husband, Peter McMahon, and their dog.
Okay.
It's mentioned as Percy in one place, but she wrote a book about Jasper. Maybe 2 dogs. Or just a slight inconsistency in the promo material.
Happens all the time. But it does add that little human touch, doesn't it? Especially with the Jasper book title. Pets can be a big part of life balance.
True. Okay, so for anyone listening who's interested in picking this up.
The practical details.
Right. Publisher is Harper. Publication date again is April 22nd, 2025. And it's coming out in, well, pretty much all the formats. Hardcover, Kindle, audiobook, even audio CD.
Good options there. How long is it?
304 pages, standard sort of hardcover size, about 5.5 by 8.25 inches.
Okay.
And if you need the ISBNs for ordering, the ISBN 10 is 00634114474.
Got it.
And ISBN 13 is 978-006341140.
Okay, standard stuff. But what about how it's doing now? You said it was already making waves.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive, actually. Check out its Amazon bestsellers rank. And remember, this is before release. It's #6 in books overall.
Wow, #6. That's huge pre-release.
And get this, #1 in motivational self-help, #1 in political leader biographies, interesting category placement there, and #2 in personal transformation self-help.
Okay, so massive anticipation. People are clearly eager for this kind of advice, especially, it seems, when curated by her and featuring this particular group. That buzz definitely tells you something.
It really does. So summing up this first look, I wish someone had told me feels like it's shaping up to be more than just, another advice book.
Yeah, it seems like a real curation effort, taking all these different stories, different pieces of advice from successful people.
And filtering it through Dana Perino's own significant experience. For you, listening, it could genuinely be like getting insights you wouldn't normally have access to, learning from others' wins and maybe their mistakes, too.
It feels relevant across the board, doesn't it? Starting out, changing paths, just trying to live a more effective and meaningful life. The themes seem universal.
Absolutely. There's likely something in there that will resonate with your own journey, whatever stage you're at.
So maybe a final thought for our listeners to chew on.
Yeah, think about this. We've talked about the book's title, I Wish Someone Had Told Me. What's one thing you wish someone had told you earlier on?
Good question. Makes you reflect.
Maybe the answer, or at least some valuable perspectives, are waiting in this collection. It seems worth exploring when it comes out.
Definitely. Check it out, April 22nd, 2025. That deeper dive into all the guidance it has to offer.